Yo guys, what's up? We just wrapped up finishing an incredible fucking video. Basically, we went over the lessons that we learned in a $1,000 seminar. Actually, some people paid close to $5,000 at a Tony Robbins event. This is one of the best videos that I've ever created. It goes very fucking deep. This is going to be one of those things that's going to absolutely change the way that you think about game, about life, everything. So make sure to watch it all the way through. I guarantee you, it's a little bit long, but I guarantee you this is going to change your life. And also Austen, I put his link down below to his channel, so make sure to check him out at the end as well. And see you soon. Peace.
Yes! 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 Fuck my voice.
Alright, we are here in Palm Beach with Austen Summer. We were just attending the Unleash the Power Within by Tony Robbins. And so at this event, I can say for myself, and I'm pretty sure I speak for Austen as well, that this event was one of the most life-changing events I've ever had. One of the most intense events I've ever had. And one thing that Tony Robbins really focuses on in this event is bringing people from a low consciousness and low energy state to a very high consciousness and high energy state. And what he pretty much does is he shows you the contrast between the two. He'll literally ask you, like, you know, feel bad, start focusing on negative thoughts, put your body down, and then all of a sudden they'll start blasting music, everyone will start singing, everyone will start dancing, just jumping up in the air for like 30 seconds to like 2 minutes, and it gets really, really crazy, and people can see the slight difference between their thoughts when they're at a high energy consciousness state and when they're at a low energy consciousness state.
I want to quickly touch on, people think they have to wait for a certain moment, or it has to take a long time to feel good, but what they don't realize is, like, you can just jump up and down or say yes, or say an incantation where you're, you know, saying like, I'm a fucking winner, and you can change the way you feel like that. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't even realize.
Yeah.
Like, just by changing your body, your physiology, it impacts your emotions so much. And that's only one of the three. Mo will tell you the other ones.
It's funny you say that, because in the seminar he actually shows you the difference between a 2 millimeter difference between the way that you're standing and how it affects your thoughts. So he brings into consciousness that when we are actually like in a very low energy state and we're, you know, our bodies are caved in, we're all in our heads, and your physiology is affecting your thoughts. When you're in a high energy state, your shoulders are back, your chest is out, and he asks you to do one thing. He says, tell me when I'm in a negative state just by looking at my body. And he caves in his body just like a little bit, and everyone's like, that's it. And he shows that the difference between a high energy state and a low energy state is literally a 2 millimeter difference in the way that you're standing. And so physiology massively affects the way that you express yourself, the thoughts that you have. And that's what you see a lot in the pickup community. You know, you see people saying, first get into state, you'll feel good, da da da, and they go out and they're just like, oh, and they start having fun. But then after like 10 minutes, they're like, I had a state crash. And they don't focus on a lot of the bigger picture stuff, which is the thought patterns that you're having, which is the focus that you have, and also the meaning behind everything that you're doing. So again, when you're at a high energy state, your thoughts should be something like, how can I give value to this girl? How can I have fun with this girl? How can I make her have fun?
How can I give her a great experience? How can I make myself have fun? How can I make this person feel comfortable around me? How can I bring the party?
Yeah, and especially when you're like thinking like that, if the girl like rejects you, or like she goes away, or she's not having fun, you're still in a value-giving mindset where you're not trying to like take anything, and you can't have a state crash because you're always trying to give value. Versus most people, they, you know, do this for 5 minutes, they get into state, then they go out and they're like, okay, let's go and like just fucking take, and then they're like, I had a state crash. It's not because you had a state crash, it's because your thought patterns are affecting the way that you give or take value. And then the last one is actually meaning. Do you want to put anything on this?
Yeah, I want to say one of the best focuses is however I feel right now is good enough, I accept it. Because if you place overemphasis on your energy level or your state, it actually drives your state down. But if you just accept anything that happens and you embrace what happens and you say, however I feel right now is good enough, I accept it, then your state goes up.
Yeah, one thing that Tony Robbins did, which I really liked, is he was on stage with this guy and he's like, this is what happens when you try to resist fear. So he had the guy like hold his hands, and then he's like, all right, now I'm gonna try to, or actually hold my hands. So imagine he's fear and I'm like trying to run away from it. It's really hard. It takes a lot of resistance. But one thing he talked about is if you dance with the fear, and let's say you try to pull me and I just like go with it, the fear actually has a harder time. And you can go through, it's totally fine. The fear that you have, if you're accepting it and you're dancing with it, you have a much easier time overcoming it. And especially when you're in a high consciousness state. I was telling Austin, like, some of the YouTube comments that we have, it's like, this is impossible, this is fake, the girls are hired. The only time that you can have those type of thoughts is when you're down here in that low consciousness energy state. And obviously it gets into the beliefs and the belief systems that those people have as well. But one thing that Tony Robbins mentioned so much in this seminar is when you're at a high energy state and high consciousness state, it's almost impossible to have negative thoughts. It's like you believe in yourself, your physiology is completely different, your thought patterns are different, your meaning behind everything is different, and you actually enjoy.
So the three main things that change your state are your physiology, your focus, and then words and meaning. So, for example, if you place extra meaning and importance on a girl rejecting you, that'll drive your state down. But if you accept it as like, oh, you know, some girls like me, some girls don't like me, I'm completely fine with that, then you don't really take it so harsh. And then physiology, I think what we said before is key. When you go out, put your chest up, your shoulders back, and this is like very common advice, but like he was going down to the science of it. Like this actually changes your brain chemistry. So you're like, if you do this, you open up, you look up, you smile, like it changes how you feel. And so I think the biggest takeaway from that is don't wait to feel good, make yourself feel good.
Yeah, yeah. And he actually says this when we walked on fire. He's like, when you walk direct and forward, and like keep your chest out, head up high. Because if you cave in and you look down, then your thought patterns and your physiology affect you, and you're actually gonna get burned while you're doing the fire walk. So when we did the fire walk, it was just like, we went on and we're like, holy fuck, this is excruciating pain. But because we had that direct focus going forward, our physiology was like coming with a place of power. Not only did we get to the other side, but once we got there, we're just like, holy fucking shit, this is awesome, this is amazing. And we actually was able to walk on fire without even hurting ourselves. So those three things he talks about is like your state is one of the most important things in terms of how you feel, the way your body heals. Everything is affected by low conscious energy or high conscious energy.
And then this is a good transition, so we'll talk about the beliefs. So your beliefs impact your life massively, and one of the key takeaways is that your beliefs are just things you've repeated to yourself a lot, and then you start using confirmation bias to make them seem legit. So for example, if you say, everyone in my city is rude, and then you see some people being rude, you're like, oh shit, that's proof that everyone's rude in my city, and that's your belief.
Yeah.
And he talks about like three types of beliefs. So, and they're global beliefs. So it's like, one is my life is, or I am, the world is, people are.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have beliefs that say the world is a friendly place, guess what? That's what you're gonna get. If you have beliefs that say I am awesome, I offer value to everyone simply by being myself, you know, that's gonna impact your life massively. If you say you know, people are just awesome and you can learn something from everyone, that person's gonna have a very different life than the person who says, I'm not good enough, people are rude, and the world is a scary place. That person's gonna have a horrible life because those beliefs impact their actions. So with the firewalk, we were just conditioned, basically. He just conditions you to like be like, I'm fucking doing the firewalk, I got this, I'm gonna fucking crush this.
By the end of, just to add something to this, by the end of the like program, Tony's conditioned you so much that he can do a slight thing and you'll start acting upon it like subconsciously. It's like he's literally taken all these people and like, it's like they're dogs, and he's like experimented with them and he's conditioned them so much. Hey guys. Oh, I like the music.
Oh,
very dope.
Sorry.
He's conditioned people so much to the point that by the end of the program, like if he hits a stick, everyone claps on command because everyone's like conditioned to do that. And when you do the firewalk, he uses so many of the cognitive biases that there's no chance that you're not doing the firewalk with full belief. And once you actually do it, it even, you know, goes deeper in that belief. It creates a reference experience that the things that you thought you can't do, you can actually easily overcome and do it. And one thing that Austen was talking about, how your beliefs affect behavior. You know, behavior, especially like global beliefs, rules that you have, those things. The reason why, like, let's say you have a belief like people are bad, or even like women don't want to talk to me, okay? The reason why that belief is actually true is because the reticular activating system of our brain focuses on the things that we already have thoughts of. So let's say you buy a BMW, right? You buy a blue BMW. What's gonna happen is you're gonna start seeing more blue BMWs in the streets. And the reason why is your reticular activating system is already focusing on it, and it's very easy for your perception to start seeing it more often. So if your belief is women don't like me, women are whores, they're terrible, da da da, that's what you're gonna get. And I can say this from personal experience after having gone through some, you know, bad experiences with women and being cheated on and everything like that. I started getting really dark and I was like, women are bad, they're sluts, da da da. And that's the exact type of women that I was actually attracting. And once I actually fixed those beliefs and I was like, women are awesome, they're full of love, they're free, they're feminine, that's the type of girls I started attracting. Listen, I know you're probably not into young men, but once you make up your mind and you see that age is just a number.
Okay, yeah, I'm very open, you know, after this, you know,
or
session.
If you're about to hit a midlife crisis and you're like, oh shit, I still don't have a man, maybe I should get with someone younger to make me feel young.
So
I'm
find
there.
your Instagram, yeah?
And hit me up. I'm in New York. There's a good quote by, I think it was something, what's his name? Ford? The guy who came up with Ford?
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford. And he talks about, if you believe it will, it is true. And if you believe it will not, it is also true.
And then how do you like establish those beliefs? He has basically 3 steps. You write it down. You write down like your empowering belief. So for example, and if you want to change these bad beliefs, you do the same thing. You write down like, let's say, women are shitty or women are hurtful. And then you take basically the opposite. You say, women are actually amazing creatures, or women are one of the best parts of life. And whatever you repeat enough and give like emotional weight and certainty to becomes your default belief. So what he does, like after you have a belief, he's like, say that belief. You're like, women are amazing, women are amazing, women are amazing. You say it with energy, certainty, focus, and whatever you repeat enough, it becomes who you are. And he also says, like with incantations, you basically repeat these beliefs and they become who you are daily. So you could say like, I'm fucking awesome, I'm resourceful, I give value to people just by my personality, and I'm improving and I'm gonna grow and I'm gonna accomplish everything I want to. If you nail those every single day, it becomes who you are.
Yeah, one thing that's really that's a really good point. One thing that he did at this seminar is he got everyone to change their physiology. So with the beliefs, for example, he attached massive pain to those disempowering beliefs. So really going deep, seeing the feelings of how these negative beliefs have affected you in terms of your relationships with women. So saying things like, I'm not good enough, women are whores, women are bad, they don't like me, all these different things. How has these things affected you? And really go deep. Like, he gets everyone to do a closed eye process where everyone just feels this massive pain, everyone's just screaming, everyone's just crying. And
you feel the pain of those beliefs and see where those beliefs are leading you in 5, 10, 20 years, and you feel the pain that that belief or those beliefs have caused to your entire life.
Yeah, and basically, like, you're actually activating your central nervous system to hate those certain beliefs. And then once you create the empowering beliefs, you use your physiology to overcome it. So he tells a story about how, you know, when he was starting out and he was living in an apartment that he was getting evicted in like basically a small room. He had no money, nothing. It got to a point where he was so frustrated that he went on the beach and he just like started running, and he's like, ah! And he created this physiology change. And all the negative beliefs that he had, like, I'm too young, I don't have the money, he started saying, that's bullshit, and that's bullshit because, and that's where the empowering beliefs came in with all his body. So, you know, we did this at the seminar. It was extremely, you know, you can do it at home. I suggest everyone to fucking actually do this. We got our money's worth in the first day. Like, it was like $7.95, $6.95, easily within the first half of the day. I highly suggest everyone to do this seminar.
I want to wrap up that point. So basically attach massive, massive, massive emotional pain to the bad beliefs, and then flip those beliefs around and attach massive, massive, massive positivity, love, energy to those positive beliefs, and that's how you make that shift, and that's how you develop these strong positive belief systems. And then over time you need to get those reference experiences, so you start using the confirmation bias for good. You say, like, women are amazing, and you start seeing those examples of where women are amazing. I think the best example of the opposite of that is the manosphere, the men going their own way, something like that.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck, women are just cheaters, like, they're hypergamy, and they're shitty, and they just take men's resources. And you know, if you look for examples of that, guess what? You'll find it. You look for examples of something blue on the screen right now, in this video you're watching, you'll find it. Boom, blue shirt, blue ocean, blue sky. But did you notice the khaki? Oh, it's right here. You weren't even paying attention to it because your mind was focused on something else. Also, one of the next main concepts is that where focus goes, energy flows. Okay, I'll let you talk on that first.
Yeah. So where focus goes, energy flows. Basically, like, one thing that he did at this seminar as well is he got everyone to focus on their empowering beliefs so much, and he just continuously was getting people to use incantations using their body, their physiology, their focus, their meaning to really dig that like empowering belief into their central nervous system. And at some point Austen's like, do you think he's like just doing this like way too much? And I was thinking about it. At some point I was like, yo, I'm getting fucking tired of this. But I think the reason why he was getting people to do it so much was because, you guys can come through, it's totally fine, I'm not going to stop you or anything. The reason why he was getting people to do it so much was because if it goes deep inside your central nervous system and you start believing it, then those disempowering beliefs start going away. You want to?
The next thing was it hammering gratitude so much. So one of the main things he said was, when you turn your expectations into appreciations, that's when your life changes in that moment. And during these exercises where you did gratitude, you're thinking of like all these moments in your life that you're grateful for. You start feeling like that love and that gratitude in your body, which is one of the most powerful sensations I've ever felt in my life. I was fucking crying during this. Mo was crying, like we were both crying like little bitches. And by focusing on gratitude, that's when you get like true fulfillment in life. He kept talking about people he knows that are billionaires, multi-millionaires, $100 million, and they have incredible success and material well-being and, you know, having a lot of money, but they didn't really have much in terms of like their life fulfillment. So what he said was, you need to combine that success, that external success, with internal success. You want to combine it with gratitude and just like loving where you're at.
I think this is a good example of people who are good at game, but they're still fucking dark, and they're like, they're like just miserable. It's like, a lot of guys who are watching this are probably not good at game, and like they're probably not getting results, but that's not gonna fix your life. Like once you start getting laid, it's not gonna like make things better. It's not gonna make you like happier. It might feel good in the moment. It might be like an escape. But overall, if that gratitude isn't there, if those empowering beliefs aren't there, if you know, you're not actually fulfilled with life, then that's not going to be the thing that's going to fix it. And especially that's not going to be the thing that's going to fix your disempowering beliefs. That's something that you can change by yourself, attaching massive pain to it and attaching massive, you know, Freud talks about we move away from pain and move towards pleasure. So if you simply follow that in life, especially when it comes to your beliefs, you can instantly change the way that you're thinking, the way that you're focusing on things, the way that you feel, and that's going to change the way, you know, the reason why we did the firewalk, for example, he got us to change our negative beliefs about it. Then we did it because our beliefs were empowering, and then we're like, holy shit, we can do this. So the same thing comes with game. Change your beliefs first, which you can do, and then go out and take action based on those positive beliefs.
Use them as reference experiences to build up the belief.
And exactly, when you start getting those positive reference experiences like, oh shit, I feel good, women are awesome, and you start like seeing the results, the fruits of the labor from it, then your brain goes like, I can fucking do this, and those beliefs become even more empowered, more into your brain.
So, what I learned at Tony Robbins is, you just gotta be thick. Look at my booty. Take life.
Thickness, boy.
Take the booty.
And he gives this example of how to maintain your beliefs when things aren't going the way that the belief says. So, for example, if you think of your best friend right now, your best friend, he snaps at you or she snaps at you. Does that mean that that person's an angry, bitter, butthurt, horrible person and that all people are evil? No. Maybe that person's having a bad day. So, if one of your empowering beliefs is women love me, right? Women love hanging around me, then how could you interpret a rejection in a way where, you know, that belief is still maintained? And one way is to say, you know what? Maybe she's having a bad day.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe, you know, this particular girl has a particular guy in her life already, or she only likes black guys, or she only likes Latino guys. Like, there's so many things you can do to kind of keep that belief strong. And then when you have a girl smiling at you, or laughing at something you said, or walking around with you, or making out with you, it's because women love you. My student in Portugal, his main belief that was holding him back was actually Portuguese girls don't like me. And if you're living in Portugal, like 80% of the girls there are Portuguese, that's gonna impact your dating life, right? So every time he would talk to a Portuguese girl, I'm like, yo, why was that girl laughing at your jokes? He's like, I don't, because Portuguese girls love you. And then after he got like a number from Portuguese girl, yo, why'd that girl give you her number? He's like, because Portuguese girls love me. Building it up, building it up, building it up. By the third day, he was closing like tons of Portuguese girls simply by changing that belief and using those positive reference experiences to back it up.
Yeah, on programs, I always tell people like, rejection is never personal, and matter of fact, there's no such thing as rejection. The belief that I've created, what do you think that does to me? Like, the reason why I think rejection is not even a real thing is because in order for a girl to reject you, what does she need to have? She needs to know you. She needs to know exactly who you are. She needs to know your personality. She needs to know your background. Then she can make an informed decision on whether she likes you or not. So if you've met a girl for 5 minutes and she rejects you, even 10 minutes, even an hour, even like a week, she doesn't know you enough. So now that's my belief, right? That's what I've created. How do you think that affects my game? Before I approach a girl, I'm like, rejection is not a real thing. Like, I'm just gonna do it. If she goes away, she has a boyfriend, she's busy, da-da-da. Versus most guys, they'll think like, oh my God.
Win or loss.
Yeah, it's win or loss. And matter of fact, one thing I mentioned to Austen is our brains have a 7-to-1 ratio when it comes to the win-loss ratio in terms of fear. So we would rather play to not lose than to play to win, because our biology is like that. But if you have the beliefs that works around that doesn't even have the biology affected by it, you're going to start taking a lot more action simply because your beliefs are empowering you to do so, because your beliefs are different. So if someone's belief, for example, is fire is actually not even that hot, right? So one thing he mentions is like, while you're walking on the fire, you can say cool moss, cool moss, cool moss. And the reason why is because when you're saying cool, you're thinking about cool things, or you're thinking about cold. So it actually isn't that hot for you. And so if someone believes that like rejection is not a bad thing, it's not even a real thing, the girl needs to know you, they're willing to take more action because that's no longer stopping them. That fear is no longer there. And you start playing to win rather than playing to lose, because those empowering beliefs are pushing you towards action.
That was good. The next thing I want to mention is this idea of being good versus being outstanding.
Yeah.
So he says like, you know, if you have like poor game, you're gonna get shitty results. Like you're just gonna get the worst results. If you have like good or average game, guess what? You're gonna get poor results. If you have excellent game, you're gonna get like good results. But to get amazing results, you have to be outstanding. And I think it's the same thing with money, it's the same thing in game, it's the same thing in life in general. It's like, if you don't step up and get to the next level, like you're just gonna get shitty results. And you know, the more results you get, or the higher your level increases, the easier it gets for you. The more results you get, the higher quality results you get. And one example is like when you have a lot of money, you can loan out money or invest money, and it makes money for you just by having more money. And then with game, if I go out with Moe and he's bringing girls in, like I'm gonna get laid more simply because he's good. How did I attract a wing? By being good myself, like being amazing myself, being outstanding.
A good example of this is last night. I believe like we've gotten to a point where our game is so outstanding. Like Austen was like literally sitting down having food, and this girl walks past him, and he's just like, he was so calm, he was so comfortable. He like calls the girl, we like chill for a bit. The pull was so fucking easy for him because he's gotten to that level where he's just repeatedly taken action. He's repeatedly put out empowering beliefs, and he's done everything to be not good, not excellent, but outstanding, to the point where the pull was just so fucking easy and the result was so easy because of those certain things. And I always tell, like, sometimes I have students who are doing 99% of the things right. Like literally, they have good body posture, good vocal tonality, like they're doing everything right. It's just that 1% that's like holding them back, that like little belief in the back of their head that's not allowing them to be more physical or take the lead and all these different things, that's stopping them from getting 100% of the results. So in terms of game especially, you should be looking for outstanding. Like what I did, what Austen has done. We've read tons of books on evolutionary psychology. We've read tons of books on dating, on human psychology, on diet, how to think better by eating better, on physical fitness, on how to have purpose in life, like everything that there is to become an attractive, outstanding man, to the point where right now for us to like attract a girl or pull her home, it's like, it's a heartbeat. Like it's so fun. And this isn't to brag, it's to show you like you can go from a place of just like having absolutely nothing. Like I was sharing my story to Austen before. I've never shared it before, but I've had a really fucking tough life. I came from a place where like I was so scared of people, from growing up in abuse, growing up in like just like a dysfunctional family, being bullied in school, having these negative experiences, that for someone to look at me and be like, that guy is going to be able to get laid or be able to follow his purpose, have his own business, in their head it would be absolutely impossible. But one thing that Tony Robbins talks about is setting a new standard. It's setting those high standards where you're like, I will no longer tolerate this type of life, and I will only have this type of life. And that's what I think a lot of it comes from. Like me going to these different seminars, being able to teach other people, doing boot camps, doing programs, being able to just consistently go after what I want in terms of money, in terms of women, has come from me setting extremely, extremely high standards for myself and what I want to achieve in my life. And being able to obviously get those empowering beliefs, take a lot of action to the point where it's like this now. And
oh, I want to wrap that up with one sentence. Be so good they can't ignore you.
yeah,
There's a book on this by Cal Newport, Be So Good They Can't Ignore You. Basically, that's it. Be so good they can't ignore you. If you offer more value than any other guy, like, are you gonna get success? Of course. It would be inconceivable that you wouldn't get success if you're offering more value than every other guy. Oh, maybe talk about the X Factor.
yeah, the X Factor. One thing I do want to mention before that though, is in terms of game, like when we say outstanding, we don't mean doing more. Okay, don't think like, it's like, oh, he means outstanding, I have to do more spin moves, or I have to like grab the girl and be more physical, I have to have, you know, that flashy game. That's not what we're saying. Matter of fact, last night, he didn't even get physical with the girl until he pulled her. So, you don't necessarily have to like be outstanding in terms of the things that you're doing, but consistently taking action, having those empowering beliefs, always pushing that 20% more, and taking consistent action. That's, I would say, is the biggest thing. What did you want to say on the X Factor?
Oh, yeah. So, what every other guy, I've been starting to call this the +1. So, every other guy has a penis. You know, a lot of guys who go out can talk to girls, but in the girls' eyes, how are you different than all those other guys? How do you stand out? What is your X factor? The thing that's unique or different about you that adds tremendous value to her life. Some of these X factors, some of these like +1s could be you have access to the coolest parties in your city. Like if you're the guy who's a social connector, he has access to everything, and he's going to meet up with a girl, is it more persuasive when you're meeting up with a girl and you say, hey, I've got this yacht party in Palm Beach, then we're gonna like go to this this mansion and party, and there's like a lion there. It's gonna be easier to pull for that, or hey, do you want to get bubble tea? You know, one's obviously easier. And then I think one of my X factors is that I have this knowledge of like meditation and connection and healthy living, that I can literally give a girl a new perspective on life and cause her to feel things that she's never felt, or that she felt when she was a kid and she hasn't felt since. And yeah, so he talks about getting very clear on your X factor, because you know what's an X factor in business isn't necessarily your product or your marketing. It's this like X factor, this essence, this like intangible quality that you have that draws people to you. Yeah,
it's funny. I always mention to like my students, what do you want in like your perfect girl? They'll say things like, I want her to be fit, I want her to be eating healthy, I want her to be reading books, I want her to be doing this. And then I ask them, are you doing those things? And most of the time, the answer is always like, no, well, da-da-da-da. They always make excuses. But the thing is, if you want something in someone, you have to also be doing it. It's funny because the things that they say they want in a girl is the things that they know they should be doing, but they would rather like be like, I want her to do it, so it's basically good for both of us.
Yeah, you don't, you attract what you are, not what you want.
Yeah. And yeah, always setting that new standard of like the woman that you actually want. You know what, the thing that I would ask you, or you know, you should ask yourself, is the type of girl that I want, this perfect 10 in terms of physical looks, in terms of what she's doing, in terms of her personality, what type of guy is she attracted to? And then basically become that guy. Become that guy who's on his path and purpose. Become that guy who's, you know, starting a business, is growing in his career. Become that guy who is putting his integrity first. Become that guy who is extremely healthy. Become that guy who's working out. Become that guy who's traveling. That's what's going to make you not only better as a human being, but it's going to also attract those girls. Because just like how you want these type of girls who are extremely hot and are doing all these cool things, you also have to be doing that because they're also attracted to it. I'm sure and I've asked like girls this, I'm like, what do you want in a guy? You know, obviously they give those cliche answers. I want him to be funny, cute, da-da-da. But also girls are very aware of what they want in guys. They'll be like, I want him to be like, you know, intelligent. I want him to have traveled the world. I want him to be fit. I want him to you know, be masculine. Like they have their standards as well. And so they, you know, even on the girls' side, they should be doing those things as well. Obviously it's mutual. But as a guy, it is up to your responsibility to become that guy that attracts those type of girls. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I want to add on to this. Sometimes guys will be like, oh wait, that's so much work. That's so much work. It's like, what is the consequence of doing all this? It's like, uh-oh, I fucked up. I got super fit and healthy. And now I know so much about psychology that I'm like a professional marketing genius. Uh-oh, stumbled into it. It's like so stupid. It's like, not only are you investing in yourself, but by investing in yourself, you attract girls, you attract higher quality girls. And ultimately, that's what you want. You don't want to fuck another fatty off Tinder. You don't want to fuck like the lowest quality girl. You want to aim for the highest. Why wouldn't you? Why would you live life to do something that's less than your best? Yeah. This is a common theme in this program too. Like, do you really want to look back on your life and regret that you didn't become the best you could be? Do you really want to regret not having the highest quality woman in your life? If you have kids, do you want to reproduce with some girl who's average? Or do you want to get the best quality woman that has even traits that you don't even have? Like, for example, I'm naturally kind of depressed, so I'm super attracted to girls who are very happy, naturally happy. Because I want my children, I think the subconscious and conscious, I want my children to be happy. So think about it that way. It's like, you know, what's the consequence of over-investing in yourself? There's no consequence. Your life can only get 10, 100 times better. For example, my life right now is 100 times better than it was when I was chronically depressed. How much better is your life right now?
I was telling,
even conceive of his life being as good as it is right now.
I was telling Austin, like, it's like the identities are different. Who I was 5 years, 6 years ago is like, I don't even know that person because of what I've achieved now. And I think this all comes back like full circle to your standards, to your beliefs, and also the consciousness state that you're in. Because like a guy who's like, but that's so much hard work. What consciousness state is he in? He's like low energy, his physiology's like this, his thoughts are like, oh, I just want to like sleep in, eat potato chips and you know, play video games. And he also hasn't attached any pain to that. He's so comfortable with it that there's no pain in it, and he's not even conscious of the pain that it's bringing in his life. So again, fixing your physiology, fixing your thoughts, fixing the meaning that you put behind everything, putting yourself into a peak high energy consciousness state, going deep into your belief systems and creating empowering belief systems, putting a lot of negative and pain into the disempowering belief systems and a lot of pleasure to the empowering belief systems is going to create that massive change. And I think we've done this without Tony Robbins because we got into game. Game is one of those things that I think
it's a master skill.
It's a master skill that honestly teaches you everything. Basically what we learned at Tony Robbins, we learned it on our own. And obviously we've had mentors, we've learned from different people in the past. But it's one of those things that's going to create massive identity shift in you, identity change in you, simply because you're changing your physiology, you're changing your thoughts, you're changing your meanings, changing your habits. You're creating completely different belief systems, and really what our identities are built off is just belief systems. Again, who I was 6 years ago, I don't even know that person because he had a completely different set of thoughts, belief systems, who he was. So it's like hard for me to be like, oh shit, that was me? Like I don't even understand that now. So anything you want to add on to that?
I 100% agree. I was thinking back to like when I was like 14, eating junk food all day, depressed, suicidal. Like I can't even, people look at me now, they're like, oh, this dude's naturally extroverted, this dude is like a natural, this guy didn't have to learn game. Little do they know I've got footage of me starting out that's really cringeworthy. But yeah, you gotta disidentify with those old beliefs. And he cuts off those old beliefs too with this program. Like, those beliefs are not who you are. It's just things you've repeated to yourself a lot. Yeah. Like, oh shit, I can't get this girl because I'm too young. That was a belief I had. And then I start like disassociating with it. I start having sex with a girl who's like 39. It's like, I guess that belief was bullshit. And he uses belief system, bullshit, BS, right?
So one thing that we want to mention before we wrap up this video, I think a lot of people who get into game have had either very, very difficult lives, or they've had lives where they've been like pampered and they want to, step out of it, which is also extremely difficult. I think that's more difficult than someone who's been through a lot of pain in their life. But one thing that Tony always mentions is life is happening for us, not to us. And that's, again, another mentality, another empowering belief that massively affects the way that you see the events that are happening in your life. So a lot of people will say, like, you guys can cross, it's totally cool. So a lot of people will say, like, oh shit, I don't want this to happen. They're always resisting what is happening in their life rather than actually using it, whether using it as a lesson, whether using it. This is one thing that we've had to learn in terms of owning our own business, is like, there's so much shit that goes wrong. Like pretty much every day it's like, fuck, you're waking up to a new fire. So like, for us, we can either see it as like, oh fuck, owning your business sucks, why is this happening to me, this all fucking sucks so much. Or we can be like, cool, new opportunity, like, I'm gonna grow. Life is testing me. Life is testing me to see if I'm resilient. Life is testing me to see whether I can, accept this challenge and actually overcome it. So what do you think happens when we view it like that? We start working towards it, we're excited for it, because we see it as a challenge. We're like, this is fucking awesome, we get to like actually experience this, versus the guy who's like, fuck, I hate this shit, why is this happening to me? Like, even the worst life experiences, like, we were sharing our stories, I don't want to get into it, but we've had a really difficult life. But now that I'm looking back on it, I'm like, I'm so fucking great. Like, I actually cried like fucking deep tears, because I was like, oh my god, I'm so grateful I had such a difficult life. Because everything that happened in order for me to be able to grow. Everything that happened was the reason why I'm here right now. Everything that happened was a test for me to be able to overcome it and become the person I am, to be able to impact other people, whether it's through these videos, whether it's through seminars, whether it's through coaching. So I think it happened for me rather than to me. And it wasn't a coincidence. I don't like to see it as coincidence. One thing that I love, this quote, is like, we have to believe in faith, otherwise life would be too depressing. And I think it's really true, because if you view it any other way, like, oh, life is happening to me, it sucks, da da da.
I'm a victim.
Yeah, I'm a victim. Not only are you resisting life, but you're gonna be so unhappy. Going out, for example, you go out, you see all these chicks having fun, you see all these people having fun, and you're like, oh my god, people are having fun, I suck, I'm not good enough. You're resisting life. You're not accepting it. You're like, I don't want to get rejected. Rejection sucks. Rather than, like, when I started, like, I went up to a girl, I was like, do you have the time? And I was like, ADD, and she's like, you have a watch. I'm like, oh, and I ran away. I came out of that, I'm like, holy fuck, that was awesome. That was amazing. Like, my heart's beating fast. I feel alive. I can actually change who I am. This is something I've never done before. And every experience that I had following up, the reason why I was able to follow through with game was because everything after that was a bonus. Everything was like, holy shit, more challenges, more negative experiences, or quote unquote negative experiences, or undesirable experiences, more positive experiences. Everything was there in place for me to be able to learn and take it away. It wasn't happening to me.
Yeah, and going off of that, one of the beliefs that I had was that I can't become the best because of a long period of depression, self-hate, abuse, and people who have to deal with that in their lives, it does affect them.
Yeah, if they don't.
Yeah, so if they don't use their negative or unpleasant, if they don't use their unpleasant experiences for good. And what I realized is that belief that I can't become the best because of a long period of, horrible shit that's happened to me, Actually, it's not even horrible, because guess what? I'm more inspirational. I'm more motivational. I can connect with people that if I had a perfectly pristine life, I wouldn't be able to connect with those people. You know, I give hope to those people that feel like, shit, I'm just depressed, I'm suicidal, there's no hope for me. Guess what, motherfucker? I did it. You know, if I can do it, you can do it too, because I came from a lower place than most people go in their entire lives. So turning those beliefs into good, and life happened for me, not to me, right? That happened for me so that I can do this, so that I can give my best gift to the world. Yeah. And that said, on the life is happening for you, make a commitment to live life in a beautiful state.
Yeah.
Don't be a victim, don't complain, don't get butthurt. Live life in a beautiful state, accept everything, and change your state when necessary, change your beliefs to have empowering beliefs, and live in a beautiful state. I think we should wrap it.
Yeah. So rejection is happening for you, or quote unquote perceived rejection. You know, anxiety is happening for you. All these things are good for you. So yeah, man, life's too fucking, like, look at this amazing view. Look at what you've been blessed with. Even if you're having negative...
Gift of life is a fucking blessing.
Yeah. Even if you're having these horrible experiences, it's fucking incredible. Like wake the fuck up. This shit's amazing. Like, do what we do. Like, go after adventure. Go after... Life is so fucking short to be living it in a low consciousness, negative state. It's not like... We didn't get, I was telling Austin, we didn't...
You only do this one time.
You only get one shot. There's no other fucking shot at this. This is it. This is it. I was telling Austin, like, we didn't get to choose to become alive. It just happened for us. And we also don't get to choose to die. Once you're fucking dead, you're fucking dead. So right now, all we're doing is we're aging every day, minute by minute, moment by moment. We're basically dying and decaying slowly. But while we're fucking here, let's enjoy this shit. Like, let's do cool fucking shit, because what else are you going to do? All right?
Yeah. Be one of the 5% of people that is cognizant of the fact that they're gonna die, and do something with your life.
Yeah.
Live in a beautiful state, have empowering beliefs, crush it.
Yeah, if you like this video, subscribe. I'm also going to leave Austin's channel in the description below. So go to subscribe to Austin. I'm pretty sure he's been getting insane infield. If that's what you want, you're like, I want infield. He's been getting insane infield. He's gone like on this Europe tour, doing coaching, getting like crazy fucking infield. And I'm sure that's going to, obviously that's going to come out, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to see that shit, his link is down below. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell if you like this video. I got some insane shit coming out as well, and we'll talk soon.